Welcome back to Modern Praxis. You're about to learn how to become psychologically impenetrable to negativity, the kind of person who walks through negativity, chaos, and other people's emotional storms without absorbing a drop. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the Stoic blueprint for building a mind that stays clear, steady, and untouchable no matter what's happening around you. This isn't about being cold, detached, or numb. It's about becoming unshakable and grounded in a world that tries to throw you off center every day. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how the Stoics trained their minds to stay free from negativity, and how you can do it too. 1. Understand the real enemy, the 4 passions. Here's the hook. You aren't being destroyed by negativity. You're being destroyed by your interpretation of it. This is a core Stoic principle. The thing that harms you is the judgment you attach, not the event itself. The ancient Stoics divided all negative states into 4 destructive passions. Not passion as in enthusiasm, but passion as in a disease of the mind caused by false judgments. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." The 4 passions that the Stoics named are fear, expecting future harm; appetite, irrational craving for some imagined good; pleasure, getting overly attached to something temporary; distress, collapsing emotionally when things don't go your way. Negativity from the outside only affects you when it hits one of these inner vulnerabilities. If you don't understand which passion is being triggered, you can't disarm it. And now the real question becomes, how do you remove the power of these passions before negativity even touches you? That leads us to our next important Stoic principle. 2. Using the discipline of desire, want less, fear less. Every Stoic practice for emotional resilience starts from this one pillar. Train yourself to desire only what's in your control. This is called the discipline of desire, the antidote to fear and appetite, the 2 most disruptive passions. Here's the psychological truth behind it. When your desires expand, your vulnerability expands. When your fears multiply, your stability shrinks. And this isn't just theory. Research shows that when people chase external rewards, status, approval, image, their stress levels spike significantly. A study from the American Psychological Association found that people who base self-worth on external validation experience higher daily cortisol levels and more irritability and anger. Moreover, the same study found that college students who based their self-esteem on internal sources, such as being a virtuous person or adhering to moral standards, were found to receive higher grades and less likely to use alcohol and drugs or to develop eating disorders. So we can see that the mental health toll on seeking outward validation is high. The Stoics would say, of course, because you're wanting things you cannot guarantee. Marcus Aurelius warned repeatedly, "You desire too many things, and thus you become the slave of fortune." So here's the practice. Before you get pulled into negative thinking, whether it's fear of a future harmful event, seeking validation, intense attachment to something, or distressful feelings when things aren't going your way, ask yourself, what desire of mine is being poked right now? Recognition cracks the spell. But once you recognize your desire, the question emerges. If desire is the weakness, what becomes your shield? 3. The dichotomy of control, your psychological force field. Epictetus taught this principle so relentlessly that it's basically the Stoic version of gravity. Some things are up to you, some things are not. Negativity from others, not up to you. Your interpretation and response? Completely up to you. This principle forms the mental shield or force field that makes you impenetrable. Modern data backs this up. People who feel they have control over their internal state, known as emotional regulation, experience 40% less emotional volatility during stress and conflict. The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago. So here is your practice. Whenever something negative comes over you, or someone dumps negativity at your feet, mentally split the scene into 2 columns. Column A, things I control, and column B, things I don't control. Column A is short, your judgments, your choices, your attitude. Column B is everything else. By the time you finish that inner split, the negativity has lost its grip. But we are missing an important building block of our impenetrability. What about negativity that comes from sudden chaos or shock, the stuff that hits before you can think? 4. Caution, wish, and joy, replacing the passions with good emotions. The Stoics weren't trying to get rid of emotion, they were trying to get rid of bad emotion. They replaced the 4 negative passions with 3 good passions. Caution replaces fear, wish replaces appetite, and joy replaces pleasure. Not bad or too austere at all, really. These things are meant to make your life truly more enjoyable. Caution is not anxiety or hesitation. It's the wise awareness of what truly matters. Wish is not craving. It's wanting only what aligns with your character. Joy is not indulgence. It's the deep satisfaction of living in virtue. These 3 emotional states act like internal stabilizers. You can't be impenetrable to negativity if your emotional foundation is built on fragile emotions that wobble every time the world shakes. So you need sturdier replacements. Now that you know how to align with good emotions, we will practice it with the most counterintuitive Stoic tool for dissolving negativity, one that ends emotional reactivity on the spot. 5. The festival technique, dissolving distress instantly. Epictetus gave one of the strangest, most underrated emotional hacks in Stoicism. He said, "When you are alone, call it peace. When with others, call it a festival." In other words, stop labeling people around you as irritants, obstacles, or problems. Label them as part of the human parade you're walking through. Negativity loses 80% of its force the moment you reinterpret the environment. And here's a modern tie-in. Studies on cognitive reframing show that reinterpretation reduces the intensity of negative emotion by up to 50% within seconds. Epictetus understood this long before neuroscience existed. So, here is your practice. The next time someone's voice, behavior, or energy grates at you, pause. Say to yourself, "Festival." Imagine that you're at a street celebration. People will be loud. People will be odd. People will be unpredictable. But in a festival, you accept it joyfully. Once you adopt this lens, negativity passes through you like wind through an open doorway. But this raises another question. How do you keep this skill alive daily instead of only in emergencies? That's what our next Stoic tool is about. 6. Daily correction. Catch yourself early, not late. Seneca said, "The mind must be summoned to account each day." This wasn't poetic, it was tactical. You become impenetrable to negativity only through repetition, through catching yourself sooner and sooner. One research study published in the Journal of Psychoneuroendocrinology in 2014 made an important finding. It showed that emotional contamination spreads quickly. One negative person can trigger stress responses in nearby individuals within 5 minutes. If you don't catch negativity early, you unconsciously spread it, mirror it, or absorb it. So the practice is simple. Every evening, ask, where did I get triggered? Which passion was activated? What will I do differently next time? This daily correction rewires your default settings, which goes back to our last video that named the importance of daily reflection and integration. Yet, what about negativity that doesn't come from other people, but from life itself? That leads us to our final tool for this episode of Modern Praxis. 7. Radical acceptance, aligning yourself with nature. The Stoics believed that harmony comes from aligning yourself with reality, not fighting it, not complaining about it, not wishing it away. Marcus Aurelius put it plainly: accept everything which happens as necessary and woven into the pattern. Negativity often pierces you because you're arguing with reality. Traffic should be moving, people should behave better, life should be easier, this shouldn't be happening. Reality doesn't bend for those demands. So the Stoic antidote is radical acceptance of the moment as it is. This doesn't mean passivity, it means clarity. This is what is. Now what is the best action? When you stop resisting the uncontrollable, negativity loses its teeth. And this brings us full circle. The impenetrable mind isn't the mind that avoids negativity. It's the mind that stops manufacturing it. So here we are, the Stoic blueprint for becoming impenetrable to negativity, your bulletproof vest, so to speak. Remember, understand your negative emotions. Use the discipline of desire. Apply the dichotomy of control. Cultivate the good emotions. Transform your environment with the festival technique. Practice daily correction through reflection. And align yourself with reality. Applied together, these principles build a mind that cannot be touched by other people's chaos. Not because you're hardened, but because you're wise. Stay tuned, because the next video will show you just how to manifest anything the Stoic way. Thanks for being here.